DeMarco Murray is headed back to Oklahoma, and we got to talk about it after the bumper.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You got to help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kinfolk? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step mill. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So it's college football related, sports related. We have a good time, and today we need to talk about DeMarco Murray, who is reportedly headed back to Oklahoma as the running back coach, to the happiness of many an Oklahoma fan. This news was first reported by Wildcat Authority publisher Jason Shear, who had the deets on it, which is basically saying, look, Arizona want to keep it under wraps, but it's done. DeMarco Murray is headed to Oklahoma to be running backs coach, and that means that one of the best players in Oklahoma history is headed home to assume the job for which he is best suited, which is running backs coach and to recruit running backs. Now, I need to say here, with Jase McClellan deciding that he was going to flip his commitment late to Alabama, we saw a number of dominoes follow. Whether or not they're related, I'm sure nobody will say, but we could draw some of our own conclusions on this, right? One of which is Jay Boulware had Jase McClellan in the bag. It was done for 2 years. And then on witching hour, he flipped to Alabama. And not only is Oklahoma left without Jase McClellan, they are left without two running backs, right? They have the one, Seth McGowan, an early enrollee who is on campus. I interviewed him before he arrived. You can find that video on this channel. Now, I need to add in there that you really were wanting to get two running backs in this class. So that means that there's a premium being put on the 2020 class, or 2021 class, and the running back you might get, and Camar Wheaton is at the top of the list. That is the number 6 ranked player in the 247 Sports Composite and the number 1 running back in the 2021 class out of Texas. DeMarco Murray has already earned a reputation at Arizona as being able to get into living rooms that Arizona just hasn't been able to in years past, because his name is DeMarco Murray, because of what he did at Oklahoma, and because of what he did as a Dallas Cowboy, setting a franchise record there with 12 games of 100 yards rushing or more in a single season. That 2014 season is one of the best by a running back in history, and we've seen Zeke Elliott pick up that mantle and go, but you cannot really appreciate what DeMarco Murray has done just yet, because we have seen what Adrian Peterson had done before him. We've seen what Zeke is still doing. We got to see what Nick Chubb was able to do this year, Derrick Henry was able to do this year, and I think we're going to be able to look back on DeMarco Murray's career as one of the greats, and that's really going to play to the advantage of Oklahoma and the running back group, and I think this is going to be outstanding because it leaves Cale Gundy at the inside receivers position, co-offensive coordinator role. You also get DeMarco Murray's not just the privilege of having him on your staff, right? But you get his expertise as a running back. And what does he know? Because that's the other thing that I think it adds to this particular coaching staff. A guy that played the game here recently, right? Cale Gundy played quarterback back in the 90s. And that's really the extent of the great pedigree outside of perhaps Brian Odom, right? Who was a part of that 2000 team, but not the star power. The star power would go to Murray in a landslide. And if you know that you're recruiting alongside him, you know that you have an opportunity to win more battles than you might normally. Now, also comes with its own sort of, history, if you will, because we have spray tan, for which I'm probably not going to be able to bring that up much more in, long season with Oklahoma. But he's going to get a raise going from about $235,000 at Arizona to what they might sign him. I think the least an OU assistant was paid last year was $370,000. So he's going to get quite a nice raise there, and that's going to be good. But he's also going to get to come back to a place to where he feels like he has an advantage. And I'm glad to find out that Oklahoma was aggressive in this. They actually picked him out. I thought for a while this was something that just made too much sense, that it was a thing that we were talking about, but it wasn't necessarily the kind of decision that I thought would go to Riley. But one, going outside the program has been something that he's wanted to do. And two, what I wanted to know most is, can you recruit right? Because we're going to develop the running backs at Oklahoma. That's just goes without saying. If for no other reason, then the offensive line is going to be outstanding as long as Bill Bedenbaugh is still recruiting to it and they're still playing for him, and they are. You're also going to be able to recruit to this because you're going to have outstanding quarterbacks and outstanding wide receivers and great running backs. You're going to want to play with those guys. The pedigree of an Oklahoma running back is next to none, right? We understand that. It is excellence. We know Billy Sims played here. Adrian Peterson played here. Marcus Dupree was here. You can go all the way back if you wanted to guys like Greg Pruitt and continue. So DeMarco Murray is part of that. And what are you selling if you're DeMarco Murray? You're selling, do you want to be a part of this? I know what it takes. I know what it looks like. It's going to be fascinating for me to watch because I'm going to get to understand how good or bad he is in a living room in a very real way. And he's new to this. I think he's going to hit the ground running like he did at Arizona. And I think he's going to be good, but I don't think it's a guarantee. Being a coach is not being a player. As a matter of fact, there was a great argument to be made and still is that great players don't make for good football coaches or just coaches because they're so used to just being able to do it that they never actually had to teach it, right? If you are not a great and talented athlete, you had to learn fundamentals and you had to be reliant on your fundamentals to get things done. Does DeMarco Murray have the same understanding, and will he allow other coaches to teach him how to teach them? All things we're going to get to see at a very high level, right? Because it's not just that Oklahoma is going to be a top 10 preseason ranked team. It's not that Oklahoma is been in the college football playoff for the last 3 years in a row and 4 out of 5. It's that Oklahoma has a, reputation to uphold as one of the best and most dynamic offenses in all of college football. And a big part of that is the running back group. And you would love to see production go back to that running back group. Now, coming off of what I might think of as a down year for the running back group at Oklahoma, but that was mostly because the quarterback rushed for nearly 1,300 yards, and you were down to basically one healthy running back that they trusted, and Kennedy Brooks. Trey Sermon had the ACL tear, so he was out at basically the first week of November. And then Ramondre Stevenson gets suspended for the Peach Bowl. So you're without him, which means that you get to see some more TJ Pledger. But Marcus Major had shoulder surgery back in August, and now we're going to get to see what it looks like for him to have the redshirt year, to say nothing of what Seth McGowan might be able to do. As I've said, I don't think you can have enough running backs, period. Something is going to happen to them because the nature of that position is getting injured, right? The nature of that position is wear and tear and pounding, which is why we see them try to distribute the carries as much as they can or ride the hot hand as much as they can. But it's been at least, 4 years since we could say that Oklahoma had a really, really, really outstanding pair of running backs in Samaje and Joe Mixon. I think they got close in 2018 with Trey Sermon and Kennedy Brooks and what they were able to do. And Brooks mostly contributed to that, being a walking first down. I think that Trey Sermon would benefit from getting more opportunities, not just to carry the rock, but perhaps to catch the ball out of the backfield, because I thought of him as the guy that was most comparable to DeMarco Murray when he got to Oklahoma. He's got that really good, lean, strong frame. He's a great pass catcher out of the backfield, and he's a more than capable blocker. And one of the things that I thought Jalen Hurts didn't do a good enough job of was distributing the football to him, right? Because that's what he's supposed to do. We saw entire games in which Trey Sermon would play but would not get a touch, and we kept going, what is this? Is this the play calling? Is this the quarterback? Who do we have to talk to about this? And we come to find out it's mostly just Jalen making a decision, which is what Lincoln wants to happen in his offense. He wants the offense to be what the quarterback wants it to be. It'd be nice to see Spencer Rattler get those guys involved. If it is in fact him, I know Tanner Mordecai is still going to be contending for this job, but he's going to upset, and by upset I mean like not be the odds-on favorite. He'd be the underdog. It would be an upset for him to be the starting quarterback in August, not upset a lot of people, although he might do that as well. Getting back to DeMarco Murray, what else could we hope for from him? Signing the number 1 ranked running back in the class in 2021, I think would be nailing it. Outside of that, keeping that kid in the boat, right? Because that's what we wanted to see Jay Boulware do that he just did not get done. Keep Jace McClellan in the boat, get his inked signature on the national letter of intent, and see what it takes for that to happen. And I think with the splash of a running backs coach hire like this, you have a great chance at doing just that. So I, like you, am very much looking forward to watching DeMarco Murray work and seeing what he's able to bring to Oklahoma and how he is able to develop that group of backs alongside guys like Cale Gundy, who he played for, and with this dynamic offense at the running backs disposal. All right, that is it for me. Deuces.